Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trucking with CJ. Now today's episode is a little different to usual. If you've been following along, you'll know that I've been over in Tasmania and it's all thanks to RAW, Rural, Alive and Well. So it only feels right to take a moment to show you the incredible work they do. RAW deliver early intervention suicide prevention programs built specifically for rural and remote communities. And what makes them different is that every single person on their team comes from a rural, farming or primary industry background. They've lived it, so when they sit down with someone, they truly get it and they're there to walk alongside you, not above you. Kerri's part of their community engagement team, and a big part of that role is getting out into transport companies. Sometimes she'll even sit in on the toolbox meetings. So for all of you in the industry watching, this one really does hit close to home. There are conversations happening in our world. Right now, they're running a beautiful campaign called Boots on the Ground. Real people, real impact, real boots. It celebrates everyday heroes of rural Tasmania, the farmers, the volunteers, the families, the young leaders who keep these communities strong. Through shared stories, photos and an interactive impact map, they're shining a light on rural resilience because every pair of boots really does tell a story. So grab a cuppa, settle in and join me for a lovely, informal sit-down chat with Kerri Connors from Rural, Alive and Well. If you'd like to learn more about RAW and the programs they run, I'll pop a link down in the description below.
Yes, when I joined the Army, you got three choices of core. And so I wrote transport as my three options. So of course they sent me to catering corps to become an Army cook. So
Of course.
So look, at the end of the day, I learnt some really good life skills.
Yeah.
And I can smash out a meal in a kitchen pretty well.
Oh my gosh. So something I haven't ever said, especially on my channel, I applied to join the Army Reserves and as a because I wanted to drive trucks.
Yeah.
And I thought if I join the Army Reserves, then I can get my truck licenses and I can drive trucks. But I got rejected, so I couldn't join the Army.
Oh.
And it wasn't until years later that I did actually join the transport industry, but through the direct route, not through the Army. So that's crazy. So if you went in there to do cooking, what was it called?
Catering corps, yeah.
Did you then get into being a truck driver?
Absolutely.
Oh.
I spent that 12 months. A really wise fella said to me, he's like, Connors, if you're a pain in my ass, you're never getting out of being a cook. And I was like, oh. And so I applied myself more than anything else I'd ever done in my life. And I just said, that's it. I'm going to be the best cook. I'm going to make all of this happen. And then I'm going to get my trade transfer. And in exactly 12 months, about 3 months in, I got my truck license as a cook.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that 12 months, I trade transferred over to Transport Corps.
Oh, wow.
And went up to Townsville driving, and it was just heaven after that.
Oh my God, that's so cool. Mum wanted me to join the military, and she always threatened because she's like, if you join the Army, then you're gonna have to learn how to make your bed. And didn't you?
Oh,
because I was never neat enough. And Mum's like, we've got to make you join the military. So you keep. And then when I got rejected, I was like, oh well.
Dang.
Shit, I lucked out.
But the question is, have you worked out how to make your bed?
Nah.
No.
I like a real fluffy quilt, so I can just give it a little flick.
A bit of a flick, yeah.
I'm not much of a tucker in a.
Bounce a coin off it.
No, I'm assuming. Do you run your house like a military household now?
Oh God! But before I had kids, totally.
Yeah.
Post kids. Please.
Oh gosh! So
my house is the furthest thing from military,
Oh my gosh.
apart from my kitchen drawers. I have the top drawer in my kitchen that you pull out, which is where all my main utensils sit. It's military precision, so that when I'm cooking, I can just open the drawer and grab what I want, and my friends hang absolute crap on me for my.
That's so
I'm like,
funny.
I just need a little piece that's mine and that's organised in my world.
Oh, well, I think that makes sense. That's fair. So you got your MR in the military, and then how long did you stay in the military doing all that?
I spent a total of 6 years in the Army, so 5 of those years was driving trucks. So from 1998 through to 97, 98, so 5 years. So 2003 I discharged from the Army.
Yeah.
I was in Perth and I got a job washing trucks.
You went from the military to washing trucks?
To washing trucks. It was just the most random job that I got. Somebody lined me up and said, oh, here's this job, and I'm washing trucks.
Was that a cleaning zone or?
It was a hire company.
Oh.
Yeah, so washing trailers that had come down from the Pilbara, because I was over in Perth at the time.
Yeah.
Getting them washed and organised to go back onto some island, so they had to be like spick and span, tickety-boo.
I know, is that the island that's down off Rockingham? Or is it not that close to island?
No, not that close to island. Somewhere up in the north. I have such a long time ago. This is, a very long, more than 20 years ago. So I was a little bit excited about that. Just, it was experience.
Yeah.
I moved over to Sydney and I got a job just delivering food in a little food van, and I'd be at the Sydney market and watching the B doubles come into the market and reversing onto the docks. And every morning when they would come in, so they'd driven up from Melbourne, and I would just, like, whatever we were packing our little vans and stuff, I would stop everything and just go, and I'd be like staring at it, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool. And in the end, this guy said to me, I know a guy, he'll get you out driving trucks. And next minute, I'm just working at Toll, Lynn Fox, in and around Sydney, refrigerated pans, Maya work, dock work. Yeah.
So did you struggle going from the military? I hear people really struggle coming into civvy world. It's a big adjustment, especially because the military is so fun and you're doing a lot, especially like drills and like excursions and such, and then to come to civvy and you don't know where you really belong. Is that something that you really struggled with?
In all honesty, if I think back to it, I discharged in Perth and then shortly after that moved to Sydney. So I lost all my contacts and I'm in this strange city, and we have this tendency to, because in the military you're qualified to do so many things, and that doesn't transfer to city land.
Isn't that crazy? Because you had the best training ever to get all your licenses and stuff, and then how is that not transferred over? Because you're trained so much more than a civvy person anyway. Yes,
absolutely. So I was applying for jobs that were probably a little bit above where normal people would apply, and I wasn't getting a job. And it actually become one of the darkest periods in my life, where my husband at the time, he would get up and go to work, and my job was to look for a job. And I got to a place at one point where I would get out of bed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, pretend to apply for some jobs, quickly make the home look like I'd been busy, and that was what I would do every day. And that's I'm an early riser. I'm a 6 in the morning. I'm up with the chickens. And at that point in my life, I didn't know just how far I'd fallen.
It's crazy.
At the time, until after I'd come out of it, I finally got a job in my little delivery van.
Yeah. And you got a purpose, like you got a reason to wake up. I think everyone aspires to not have a job or like want to live that. And then when all of a sudden they're in that situation, you're like, no, having a job or a workplace to go to gives you a reason or a purpose, and that's actually really important.
Purpose, even if it's just something small. But there was nobody there. I didn't have friends to check in on me. I didn't have family around me. And he was gone all day. And the only purpose I had was to not let him know that I'd spent all day.
Or being lazy.
In bed.
Because you feel like you're...
Well, I wasn't being lazy. I actually couldn't bring myself to get out of bed.
Yeah.
I really couldn't. I just would sleep until lunchtime, which was so strange.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I've never been like that. And it was,
And then, but getting in a truck, starting to drive, that gave you, like, did that just give you the up and go again? Like, light that fire in your belly?
I was so excited.
Yeah.
I was like, kid in the cat in a dairy. I was just like, this is where I need to be. This is what I love. This is what I want to do. And I would have worked for free. I didn't care if they paid me or they didn't pay me. I worked for a contractor who didn't pay me for a time, and I really didn't care. I've got enough, I can pay the bills. Every now and again he'd give me a bit of money and keep me going, and I didn't care a bit. I was out in that truck and I was doing what I loved. So
it's interesting, like there are parallels a little bit to my existence right now in the fact that I've gone from having a structured FIFO job, which looks so great, and there's a lot of like pride that comes in that. And then when you start working for yourself, it's all up to you. You're at home, you're by yourself,
Yep.
It's my responsibility to try and find the work, and sometimes I don't feel like, you clock on and clock off and you get paid per hour when you're driving.
Yeah.
And so there can be a huge identity shift when you change and you pivot as well. So there's certain points of when I go driving and I'm in a truck, I feel like so much joy, and I really enjoy it, and I feel really, it's like plugging in and recharging a little bit. Yeah. And isn't it crazy? Like, people probably think the opposite of driving trucks, but that's the transport industry definitely gave me that purpose.
It does. And when you get out there, it's just you and the wide open world. A lot of the time you watch the sun come up.
Yes.
Then you get to watch the sun go down.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you've been a part of the day.
Yes.
Whereas if you're in an office all day or you're stuck in a building, the sun comes up, sun goes down, and you walk out at the end of the day and you go, what happened?
Yeah.
You feel like you've missed the entire day.
Yeah.
But out in the truck, you listen to the radio, you're talking to people, and you just feel like you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, I don't necessarily love getting up early, but once I'm up, I enjoy it, and I love seeing the sunrise. I really love that. And you feel like you've got like this secret, I don't know, like you're part of this secret club that gets to see stuff while everyone else is sleeping.
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's a weird thing, isn't it?
It is.
Even with night shift, like the sun sets and everything goes quiet, and then you get to enjoy the beauty of the world and like get to see this like secret world that no one really knows, especially if you're in the outback, like when I was working the mines. There's this eeriness about it, and then the sun rises and you're like, oh, I got to experience this magic of nighttime. But yeah, that's crazy. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, didn't I? But there is something really like special about transport, and I hope that if people want to join it, they can do that. So when you said you got the foot in the door to drive the rigid, and then with the toll, all of that.
Yep.
How did you get into fuel?
I'd moved back to Tassie, and I was having a few beers with the boys one afternoon, and I was like, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to earn some bigger money. What am I going to do? Will I go to the mines, won't I? And a guy said, one of the fuel companies was looking for a driver. And I was like, I wouldn't be able to do that. That's for the boys, that's a boys' job. Big heavy hoses and pumps and all this crazy stuff. And I knew nothing about it. And it just, I don't know, it's like planted a seed.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at it, and one day I was driving past one of the local fuel companies, and I thought, bugger, I'm just going to call in and ask. And I did. I walked in there and I said, I just want to ask a question. I've got my truck license, all that sort of thing. But the question is, would I be able to, I know I can drive the fuel tanker, but can I do the work, the actual physical labour? Can I do it? Would a woman be able to do that? And he said, I can't see why not.
That's good.
And from there, a couple of weeks later, here I am.
Do you know, that's really
driver.
Cool to hear that, because something I heard the other day is that statistically, women will look at a resume and they'll see 10 things, and if you don't tick off 9.5 of them, you won't apply.
God's no.
Right? Whereas a lot of men will see 4 things that they can do out of the 10 and they'll still apply.
Absolutely.
So the fact that you knew that you didn't have the qualifications but you still went and applied really speaks volumes to that. That's awesome to hear that, because a lot of people won't even go and ask the questions.
Absolutely.
And I always try to encourage people to just walk into transport companies and ask, like, what do you have available? This is me. This is what I want to do. This is my confidence. Like, this is what I have, the skill set. Because then even if you're not qualified, they can give you the path of what they need you to do, and then you can come back.
Absolutely.
And it's interesting, when I got my opportunity in fuel is because my dad was working there, and then my dad would talk about his daughters, and they'd be like, well, if she ever wants a job, And then when I got the job, the manager at the time said, I actually don't know if you're going to be able to do this, right? Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to be strong enough. But what they discredit is that you find a way regardless. So I was always called a hose hugger. And I was always laughed at because I was...
bears.
Yeah.
Hugging the teddy bears.
Yeah. And I was always dirty. But guess what? I didn't have a crook back.
Yeah.
Because, I would, lift and I would hold it close. The boys would hold it out here, but I don't have the strength out there. I've got a lot of strength in here and a lot of strength in my legs. So I was able to do everything. It's just a matter of finding, screwdrivers or things to the cam locks to get them in. So there's always a way. You just got to find.
Absolutely.
And if you need to put a 3-inch hose on, or instead of a 4-inch hose and a connector because it's lighter, you're still going to get the job done. So you might be a little bit slower, but it doesn't matter. Hey, and then fuel's really good, because I think a lot of people are scared by it, but in my mind, fuel's actually quite safe because there's so many policies and procedures, and if you follow it to the rule, it's actually quite safe.
If you're a person who's process driven, fuel is the perfect industry, because everything is done to the letter, to the T.
Yeah.
You've got to dot the I's, cross the T's, and then go back and check that you've done that. And before you pull that lever, you are making sure everything's done. And like you say, it is a very safe industry. How often do we hear of tankers? I mean, we're all like, I've got a big bomb behind me, that sort of thing. And I never ever once felt like that.
I'm glad you didn't, because I did. And the only time I did was in my sleep. So I had a lot of night terrors when I first started driving fuel tankers.
Wow.
So at work, never scared, never thought twice about it. I would wake up from a night terror of just these subconscious, really deep fears that I had that I wouldn't think about in my daily thing, but in my dreams it would come to life. And so it was more like I was really scared of getting a wheel bearing fire, empty. That was a real fear of mine, or someone pulling out in front of me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of out of my control things, but then I'd hop in the triple the next day and drive, and it wouldn't be an issue. And also like sleeping in the truck. The first few times that I slept in a fuel tanker, asleep, because you're empty, and that's more dangerous, and where do you park and be safe? So so we touched on a bit about you. Kerri didn't know that I was doing this, so this is just
very... a bit impromptu,
yeah, but Raw and what you guys are doing and what I've learned from being here is just so impressive. Like, the work is so important, and for me as an outsider looking in, what's really, really important about this is the fact that you guys are actually people from industry. Like, you've been a truck driver for so long, you've got so much experience. So when you go and talk, so we'll go to Arana, for example. I went there the other day. They have toolbox meetings. You guys just come and hang out and have a chat. And it's not like, let's talk mental health and how's your brain going and are you sad?
That would go really
it's
grand,
more like, let's just have a cup of tea and like, let's just talk like we have. Like, I had no idea about your history like that, but now I do. And we start bouncing experiences, and then that can unravel a whole lot of things that can be down here, and then it makes it so much simpler, doesn't it? So is that how you feel about what you do?
Absolutely. So I think it's easy to talk the talk and to pretend you know what you're doing, but when you're with these guys, they're out in the thick of it every day. And not just guys, but ladies as well, and they're out in the thick of it every single day. And if you're not authentic, and if you haven't been in the pit where they are, then it's really hard to resonate.
Yeah, how can you understand and really empathise with someone if they're not in it themselves?
Absolutely. So it's not just about being able to talk the talk and walk the walk. It's about being able to put yourself in their boots, as
boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. We've got to be able to put ourselves in their boots, and it's really hard to do that if you haven't been there.
Yeah.
If you haven't been in the mud pit, you haven't been a part of it, hard to do. So we can just resonate, and I get it. I get what it is to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, come to work. I get what it is to be pulled over by the NHBR and your book comes out, and then you just, the anxiety.
And it's not that NHBR there to, like, they actually want to be there to help and make sure everyone's safe, but I get Weybridge anxiety.
Absolutely.
And I know them, and they're great people.
Did I put my brake?
Yeah.
Oh, I know I had my brake.
Shout out, hopefully, fantastic, anxiety reducing, everything's for me, like, personally. But that's so awesome. So you don't drive full time, but you drive like every now and again just to scratch that itch, but you are still so heavily a part of the transport industry, and so you specialise in transport within RAW.
Within RAW. So I've come on as the transport specialist. So we have a few different programs within RAW. We have our country program where we help our rural and remote people, so our farmers and our agricultural workers. Then we have our seafood, Stay Afloat. So that's funded by our seafood industry people.
Okay.
So we're helping fishermen, we're out with the oyster workers, and we're doing toolboxes in all those places, and we have people on board who have been in those industries. And then obviously our Open Road program, which is where I come in as the transport specialist. And it's just not just about me holding that knowledge and being the person that goes and does that, but I share that knowledge with our team so that our team are then better able to go in and have the conversations, because it's a bit hard for one person to be across the entire state. So, and it's empowering our team to understand and not be frightened. You know, you go into a toolbox meeting in a transport company, you're looking around, you're probably like going, get me out of here, I don't know what these people are doing.
People
really
can look a bit grumpy at first, but once you really get past the crust, they're big marshmallows, aren't they?
They are, absolutely. And all of our staff that have been in that situation, I've been able to coach them through, make sure that they're comfortable and have met a few people, and so that then it can just be seamless, and they can always come back to me if there are questions or if they're unsure of different things. So it works
I
really
love it
well.
so much. And a big thing I think that's different to other mental health things that I've come across, because I delve into this a lot. A lot of places will just provide resources, so which is great. There's a real big, but the difference that sets you guys aside is that you actually go out. So what people might not understand is that you can actually call up and say, I'm worried about this person for these reasons, and then you might just do a drive-by. Hey, we're in the region, we're just dropping into your farm, how are you going?
Absolutely.
And it's so like not invasive, it's not because I know that if I felt like someone had nominated me and you guys rocked up as a psychologist being like, hey, we hear that you're depressed, I'd be like, see ya. I'd be so offended. I'd be like, wow, I haven't masked it well enough. But you guys just rock up and have a cup of tea just talk as human beings. And especially in rural communities, it can be quite isolating. So it's nice that you guys actually just get in your car and show up. It's not like having to just talk on the other end of the line, because sometimes it's too hard to actually do that. Like it's there's been moments where I'm like, I'm really not doing well, but I don't actually want to pick up the phone because I don't even know what the first word is that I would say. So to know that it's a
huge barrier.
People can just like reach out and do that. So lovely.
Yeah, we have a callback request service on our webpage, so you can actually go in, pop in your number, and one of our staff will call you, because that physical thing of picking up the phone and saying, I'm actually not okay, that's a barrier. Yeah. And so we wanted to remove that barrier.
Yeah, beautiful.
And the work that we do is non-clinical. So, we're not highly trained in university. We talk really plain language, and we shift that language for the people that we're working with. So we talk about our gauge, and it works really well in the transport industry. Yeah, if you've ever driven a Kenworth or a Mack with all these gauges. Can I grab a gauge card, please? So our gauge cards provide really simple language, but we can change that language around to the industry that we're with. So for transport, I'm like, well, if you're driving around in the Kenny and the oil pressure gauge is up in the red and you just keep driving, what's going to happen? Poof. Yeah, there you go. These are our gauge cards, and it's just so simple. Yeah. And where's your gauge at? And we use language and say, okay, so where was your gauge at 5 o'clock last night? And it'll be, I was sitting down having a quiet beer watching telly, so my gauge was in the green.
Yeah.
I was trying to get my kids to sit down and eat their vegetables, so my gauge was in the red. Or if we bring it back to a work context and we sort of say, I like to give an example and say, okay, so you've come in it's 4 o'clock in the morning, it's -4 degrees, you've got a massive day planned, and you're wondering how you're going to get it all done. You turn the key and the truck won't start. Where's your gauge? Where's your gauge? And we ask that question, we say to people, okay, give me some examples, who's got it? And one will always stand up and say, my gauge is in the green, my truck won't start, it's not my problem, I'm ringing the guy to come and fix it, and I'm going to go back inside where it's warm and have a cup of tea. And that's so fabulous, because then another person will pop up and say, I'm in the red. I'm blown a gasket. It's the world's ended, and now I've really just lost it. So it just depends on the person.
Yeah.
It depends on their personality, but it also depends on the day and where they're at.
They could have had
at the
10
time.
other little things that have built up to that. So that one thing is the thing that just
Yep.
blows them over the edge.
Absolutely, and it might happen to them 1 week,
Yeah.
and they're like, yes, I'll go on for a cup of tea where it's warm, but then they might have a bit of other stuff going on, and that exact same person, a few weeks later, the same situation, and they've lost it, and they're cranky, and they're yelling at other guys, and looking for a fight, whatever. It's just we're all so different, and
We
it
are
just
so
depends
different.
on what's going on in our world.
Yeah.
And everybody just carries things differently, so
Yeah.
that's what I love about the gauge. That's what I love about Raw. This is the reason I actually came and worked here. When they rang me up and said, would you like a job? I knew about this gauge and I resonated with it, and I'm like, I can do that.
Like everyone's been handpicked, like to form this team. Everyone's been handpicked because they know that you'll be the perfect person for this area.
Yeah.
I feel really honoured that I was named ambassador and you guys brought me down here because and I knew straight away that it would be a good fit, but being here on the ground, like my own boots on the ground and going out and seeing a few different communities. Tomorrow I'm going to the dairy, hearing firsthand from people how much of an impact you guys are making is just so cool, and I hope that other people can take from that. And if you are from Tasmania and say you've got a transport company, give these guys a call because they can come and just sit in your toolbox meeting. It doesn't have to be just another pamphlet, another flyer on the wall. It's actually just like they'll just come and sit down and chill out, and you guys will actually be able to identify. And even if it's not right now, maybe in a 12 months time that person's going to remember that, pull that card out of their wallet and be like, actually I need to call you, knowing that it's not going to be like really like, you know, judgy or anything. Everything's confidential.
Everything's confidential. And another key thing, especially when we're talking around, I mean, we support all of transport, not just truck drivers, but one of the key things is we're all in ag here. A lot of us, we're out to farm, whether we're delivering stock feed, picking up hay, getting the vegetables out of the paddock, doing a milk pickup, delivering chemicals. So many trucks are in and around our agriculture and or other transport, plus our seafood. So what can happen is sometimes you get in the truck, you drive away, and you have this bit of a feeling in your tummy, and you think, I don't know if that person was okay, I don't know if Foam Joe was okay, or I've just been to do this delivery and the guy on the forklift, I don't feel like he was okay. So if we've been and we've had that chat and we'll hand out our cards and stuff, it gives people and drivers a resource that they can call us and say, hey Kez, or one of our team, we're all Tasmanians, we answer the phone, our 1-800, I've just left this farm, I've just left this work site, and I just want to talk about this situation. My gut's telling me that person is not okay. And we can talk to you about it on the phone, and then we can come up with a bit of a plan together to reach out to that person and help, as you say, help that person. But it can just also, it gives you, the driver, the opportunity to know and have some faith that that's okay. We've got your back.
Yeah, that's so nice, and know that they don't have to carry it all themselves and that someone else is going to help just check in. Because sometimes you feel like I've had friends that are going through a lot, and I feel like all I can do is give you the resources and I can give you the numbers, but then that's all. But if you know that someone else is going to do a follow-up, you're like, okay, well, I literally have done all I can now. And, you know, you can sleep a little bit easier at night.
Sleep a little bit easier. Because there's nothing worse than driving away and then you stress on it for days and days, and then you're doing the check-in, which is grand, but you mightn't always have that connection to do that, or you might feel comfortable to
And
to
also,
do that.
if you don't have mental health first aid, you might actually give someone the wrong advice. So like, it is important to get someone who has got professional first aid, mental health first aid, to do that, because then you know that they're getting the right advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
you.
I
know that.
Thank you.
I tricked you a little bit, didn't I?
You did. No.
But I think it's important. Like, if you can share your experience a little bit, then it shows people that we're all just people, and we're all just trying to do the best that we can. And our own experiences are always like this.
Absolutely.
By sharing it, like, shows people that they're not alone as well.
I've had some of my worst days. I've been in a truck.
Yeah.
But then, likewise, I've had way more positive days where I just get out of that truck and I'm like, oh, that was...
You feel like you've accomplished something.
So cool.
Well,
so cool.
I really look forward to coming back. I'm going to invite myself back down, and I want to do more trucking and meet more people, because like, it's just such a beautiful part of the world. and
Yeah.
there's so much to explore.
There is, and we love sharing what we do. We love mainlanders coming down and getting a taste of what it is that we do here. Our transport industry is so diverse, and you can sort of do a little bit of everything all in one go, you know.
Yeah.
No, we don't have the Pilbara. No, we don't have quads. It would be really cool if we did, but I'm kind of glad we don't.
Your landscape does not, but I think that same with New Zealand, the Kiwis think that their trucking's not as cool, and then you go there and you're like,
Wow.
you are such a technical driver to be able to get around these places. Hats off to you. You need to be proud, like so proud of what you do. So,
Absolutely.
There's a place for everything, and I hope that I can showcase more of Tasmania for everyone. And come back and explore it more.
And it's a great place to learn to drive a truck, because if you can drive a truck here, you can drive a truck anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, I think we're wrapping up the day. We're going to go do this meet and greet, and then,
Beautiful.
day 3 tomorrow.
Day 3 tomorrow. Bring it.
Awesome.
Thank you,
All right.
CJ.
Thank you. That was good.
Yeah, hey.
I love that.